Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say darlings. How are you guys doing today? Don't worry about no name. It's not your sound. Do not adjust your set. Adjust your volume. What the hell? What was that thing that they used to say? You know, like old TVs, like do not adjust your set or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember it. It was something like that. I was going for that reference, but I forgot what it is exactly. How you doing there, pirate? You just got back from a shower and got yourself some food, man. Sounds pretty good there, my man. How you doing there, Commissar Roach? Yeah, so for those of you who do not know Commissar Roach, go ahead and check it out. How'd you know? No. Oh dear. It's an exciting turn to come, I can assure you guys. Been looking forward to this for some time now. How you doing, Ben? Icy? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get things going in just a second here. We'll start the actual game up and give people, like, I don't know, say about 2 minutes for them to actually get here. Another turn closer to ending the war with the butcher of his own men. I just hope he drops 3 nukes, man. I just hope he drops 3 atom bombs. It's a good desktop. It is a good desktop. It doesn't change, because I am, in fact, lazy. But it is a good desktop. I can assure you of that. I've had it certified by many an expert. Ah, that's a good no name. How you doing there, Nandy? We got Mark. How you doing there, my friend? Doomsday. More of a desktop phone. How you doing, Variety? Good to have you, my man. Perhaps once in the 40 years of this game? No. Most likely not. Most likely not. How you doing, Meshdam? Bagels do sound quite nice, actually. Hello there, Shiver. Well, we can burn home. We can burn home. We'll go ahead and get into this. I am recording this to actually upload a replay. I have been trained well. Wax on, wax off. I swear to God, sometimes I lie. He does highly amuse me. It's like sometimes I can read this and I'm like, what? Come again? Come on to bed. Okay. So go ahead and take a look at the things then in the actual turn. The pre-stream nerves are kicking in. Yeah, 1943 and 2030. Not too far off. No, we're just playing the replay now then, so we'll take a look then, shall we? Okay, the 5th of February 1942. Oh, well, at least we take control of that island. That's always nice. That's always nice. Again, we're seeing the Coast Watch report of Wenkao. And that was Infinite actually made, well, actually raised the prospect that he might be using Wenkao to actually refuel his submarines, which actually would make sense. It would genuinely make sense. For a long time, I've been writing off of that, just ignore it due to the fact that I thought, well, we know there's not any ships there, but it does make sense if there is, in fact, submarines using it. So obviously, we wouldn't see them. Hey, Dinvanity, welcome back, my man. Unloading at Atabe. There we go, with a merge there just off the coast. Right, S41 over here. Okay, right, we do see an allied submarine over here. Oh, we actually are engaging. I expected us to miss this. Interesting. I was watching THG stream. Oh, this is your dream, right, okay. Okay. I was a little bit worried there. Keep some of my ruse down to ASW ammunition, but that's fine. As long as the S41 doesn't engage. Right, the good news is, as far as I can tell, he doesn't have an idea of what's in this force here. How much longer until Operation Setting Sun starts invasion of India and New Zealand? We've already begun. See, the first part of the operation is to win the hearts and the minds. Right, 3 allied ships here near Carnarvon, speed unknown. Ooh, interesting, okay. Now, this is obviously a very important phase here in the night. For a number of reasons, and I'm hoping that we do not have the worst case scenario actually take place. We'll see here. Yeah, still detonated above the actual sub's depth, but eventually eventually will cause issues for these submarines. It's a matter of time until we get lucky, really. Until we can actually have these depth charges upgraded to the Type 2 depth charges, which would be fantastic. Still not very likely to hit the enemy submarines, but at least we actually do have a significantly better chance. Moving on there from the Sculpin. Do we move out to the night phase? Here we go. The amphibious landing off the coast of Singkawang is beginning. So we have the light cruiser Oi opening up here. We do see the West Borneo Battalion. Is that a battalion? Opening fire. We do have a, I don't know, not a terribly large amount of firepower, but ideally enough to suppress the defenders, or at least cause some issues. Type 95 depth charges are useless in deep waters. Yeah, indeed they are. Oh, they have a 180mm gun. That's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty, actually. I do not want to get hit by that. Yeah, that would not be fun. This is a Kitakami there. Ooh, 2 of them as well. That's making me feel nervous. Okay. Now, we could probably expect something to be hit here. How you doing there, Fury? Not too much. Still in the night phase here. We're just at the amphibious landing off the coast of Singkawang. Okay, we're going to speed things up. I'm hoping we don't get hit. So far, so good. Oh, thank God for that. You know what, I was really worried there. Okay, so we received 6 casualties there, 1 non-combatant. With all of that, we only inflict 11 casualties, which is actually rather remarkable. But yeah, we need to get these troops offloaded. I'm just happy that nothing's taken a hit as far as yet. That is very good, so we now begin to unload at the beaches. So 4 to 3 casualties, actually fairly light there. Usually we do lose more than that. It's a fair force being unloaded over here, actually. There we go, unloading over here. But yeah, that was actually fairly successful landing at Singkawang. Those 180 defensive guns, at least I think they were 180. They'd cause me, they'd cause some damage. Right, so we move into the day phase. So, the worst has passed. Or what potentially could have been the worst. Right, opening up again. Let's speed this up. Thankfully, no hits received again, which is good news. Unloading over here. Very nice. Okay. Be moving into the air phase here shortly. Naval movement phase. Okay, Sculpin once again. Fuyo attacking the Sculpin over here. Yeah, she's out of ASW ammunition. It's been very good for our pilots over here, though. It's helping them train. I do wonder if it actually is helping our warships train. I'd have to check that. I don't imagine so. We'll see. Right. Air operations phase in the AM. Now, 2 allied ships there, 4 allied ships. Yeah, harbour defense motor launch, I believe it is. 7 allied ships near Palembang. 4 allied ships near Busianga. It has. Okay, that's good to know there. Not too much there, though. But we've just had a successful landing off the coast of Singkawang. Okay, we have put additional ASW assets into the area there as well. Right, okay, 4 allied ships near Carnarvon. We've spotted, spotting ships out here. Okay. G-class DDs reported as hits. AVPs, AVP Pollux reported hit. Reported hit. Oh, yeah, reported hit. There we go. Jumping the gun, but I was right. 3 allied ships over here. 7 allied ships out here. So we are picking up a lot of actual ships there. Reporting a allied tanker. Wow, okay, there's a lot of aircraft. Okay, let's take a look at this. Task Force 399 sights allied float plane near Koepang. Task Force 266 observes allied torpedo bombers near Finschhafen. Allied fighter bomber at 47126 near Exmouth. Interesting. It depends if I've got the time tomorrow. Maybe. I checked turn over turn. 1 PP went from 45 to 48 day experience. Well, that's very good news there. Right, Hudson 1 spotted near Samoa. That's good information to know about then. At least we know what we might be potentially facing. Hudsons do make sense. Okay, airstrikes. Oh, Finchhafen? I don't know how you pronounce it. Okay, so our sweep goes in there, unopposed actually, which is interesting. Okay, now we're actually finding something up our... Also, hello! Yes! Oh, this is exactly what we wanted there. Oh, that's brilliant. And again. I mean, ideally it's more than one here, but this is very good news. Hello there, Pan-Europa! Oh! Oh, the Jedi are gonna feel that one. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. What was that one then about BDD? Fuel cargo Ben and DD, was it? I did somebody catch that last message and let me know there. But that's very nice there. The Herborg and the Pan-Europa. 2 torpedo hits here, heavy fires, heavy damage. 1 torpedo hit, heavy fires, heavy damage. That's very nice there. That's very good. Surprising that he would have them. I mean, there looks to be more over here. If this is the task force that's broken off, or there might be potentially more. We may potentially, okay. So, we have only 1 A620 here to protect against the B339s. Ideally, you'll be able to do a good job. But it is being dived on, so we'll see. Evading one of the B339s has her guns jammed. Come on, Zero. Right, driven away by defensive fire. Losing engine pressure. There we go, that's good news. Hello there, Epic Duck. We just torpedoed 2 tankers at Osthaven, which is very nice. Yeah, he's definitely trying to get as much fuel out of the area as possible. I'm hoping that... Well, I would have preferred these guys to head over here to Osthaven, but this is what we expect. I mean, Palembang's going to absorb all these aircraft heading this way. But at least it's worked out there. That's very good news. We are aware of tankers in the area now, so if they attempt to escape, we do have the ability to use our submarines as well. Right. Interesting, I'm excited about them. Again, the sweep goes through. Nothing detected as of yet. Means harbour... Oh, okay. A German scientist. Well, that's really quite interesting. Not heard any sinking sounds as of yet. You're about... You say that there, Carl, but I don't know what you're on about. Okay. So we are hitting the ground forces, I do believe, today. Yeah, I mean, every tanker that we hit here is going to cause him issues. It's not going to be enough to derail his war effort, but it is going to make it harder for him. Ideally, we do pick up more of these tankers, so that would be very nice. But yeah, every tanker that we hit and take down is worth it, really. Okay, only 74 casualties inflicted there. I was hoping that we might have been able to destroy some, but that's not too bad. But again, you can see here, we do have 5 damaged, but this is the AAA firing, I do believe. But the good news is, due to the fact that we are flying at this altitude, he's using the flak, which is using supply. We're hitting him here. It's just all about using supply there, really. Do you check THG has not added troop in the city? Well, we've not been able to see that as of yet. Right. Yep, so we do have some bombers going through here to Rangoon. And yeah, we are hitting some aircraft on the runway, very nice. You can see here, interesting the A5M4s didn't participate. But I don't know if I'm going to use the A5M4s actually. Okay. Well, 3 B-17s are damaged on the runway, 3 LB-30s are damaged on the runway, 1 Blenheim is damaged on the runway. That's very good, no flights there from the Allied aircraft, but the good news is, I don't know, it's one of those, had we sent a full squadron of bombers it would have been quite excellent, but then again, this is how we approach the situation. It is interesting, I do wonder why he stood down his combat air patrol. Are they still in Rangoon, or where are they? That's what I want to know. Okay. Bombing there. 100 Chinese core. This is the core that's actually causing us issues as well. Yeah, attacking the 14th Chinese base force was that. Okay, alright. Yeah. Yeah, the 37 Ki-21's going in there. As you can see, the flak. Okay, further 54 casualties inflicted. 3 aircraft damaged. I can repair that though. Okay, reconnaissance sighted at Koepang. Yeah, we are seeing... hello. So we have multiple targets. This is Cape Town! Ha ha ha! We have hit Cape Town! Okay, that's only a single bomb, which is not a huge deal. But it's very good to know that there's warships out here, so we were right that that was in fact... and again, yeah, that was indeed a allied warship. So we'd land... oh no, that's actually two... wow, okay. So we'd land one bomb hit down on the Cape Town, we'd land a hit on the Colombo, Caledon. This is interesting. Now, had we had torpedoes, this would have been significantly more interesting. But that's not bad. I mean, the thing is, that's a little bit of damage there. It's not going to sink them. It's not going to bring them to any great degree of, I suppose you could say, degradation. But the fact is, they've been hit. They're not on fire, unfortunately, but it's a bit of damage that he's going to have to repair, which is nice. But now, when aware of them, yeah, it seems like he was trying to intercept us. I think we probably could have taken that force there. Right, again, we are striking out here. There's a lot of actual assets in this area. Right, we have a allied destroyer. It would be nice. Yes, very good there. Bomb hit. Excellent, excellent news. A second one would be better, but she's on fire. But again, that is a hit there, which is good. And, yeah, wow. What do we have here, then? The AVP Pollux. Can we take this thing out just so I'm stopped? There we go. That's a bomb hit. Very nice. Severe damage. Heavy fires, heavy damage. Ideally, she goes down. She does not go down as of yet. But that's a pretty good result there so far. Now, we are in a better position closer to Koepang. We're not quite as pinned against the Australian coastline. Something's just sank there. It might have been one of the actual tankers. Moving into the air phase. PM here. One of those cruiser charge... yeah, the cruiser charges indeed. Right, PTQ-113 is hit there, which is good news. PT-33. Yeah, seems so. Seems so. I mean, of course, it means reported hit. But it's good to actually confirm this. Reported hit there, supposedly, again. Now, we do see something out here. We see something out here as well. Now, that, I'd love to take a look at that. Could potentially be tankers, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. There's a lot of assets in the area. We've gone from really having a very small amount of situational awareness to a very large amount of situational awareness here in the last turn. So there's a lot of information to really take a look at. Good turn so far. Good turn so far. It would be nice, right? I was hoping they would have been down here, but we'll see. 3-0's going in there. I've got to clear those ships out to Palembang, and then we'd be able to really control that area. But at least we finally did see some aircraft actually hit at Osthaven. Potentially there wasn't aircraft. Sorry, potentially there wasn't ships there before, but this is it. Right, going in there. It would be nice to hit some of these guys just to get it over with. We are using torpedoes, but I can afford the supply of torpedoes. We sank. Well, I don't know if we sank, but we hit 2 allied tankers so far. Hit 2 light cruisers, and we hit a destroyer as well. And the AVP Pollux twice. Welcome there, by the way, Jack. Right, Allied fighter bomber sighted over Tavoy. I do wonder where his aircraft went from Rangoon, actually. Oh, there we go, nice. Okay, this would be the destroyer, I do believe. Oh, there we go, nice. Very nicely done. Heavy fires, heavy damage, so that's a mine tender, I do believe. Yeah, I mean, had we had torpedoes, things would have been significantly better, but hey, we're still not doing bad with bombs. We can still accomplish quite a lot of our objectives with bombs anyway. I mean, these bombs, they're not the largest bombs, but, I mean, the light cruiser's not that well armed anyway. Right, okay, this is good. What are we hitting here? Oh, it's these guys. Ship dead in the water. Obliterated. Dead in the water. How can we not hit something? Yeah, there we go, finally. Obliterated. Obliterated. Oh, excellent accuracy here so far. Excellent accuracy here so far. Only the Kawi. Very good. How you doing there, Andy Mac? Yeah, well, this is it, really. I was hoping that the bomb hits on the actual light cruisers there might have been able to cause... I don't know, fires would have been nice. Fires would have made them easier to locate. But we are in a much better position than we would have been. So I'm glad I'm glad of the move that we did make. It looks like he was trying to intercept us. I feel something just sank there as well. Hit but no explosion over here at Wake. These are patrol boats, of course. Yeah, so far so good. So far so good. Well, this is it. I mean, the parts of the mini-KB have been actually pretty damn accurate. Well, this is it. I mean, even the AMs, something else has just sank there. It's been a very good turn so far. Yeah, and then he finally, yeah, then we finally got hit. That's what I expected. Damn that 180mm gun. The Nippo Maru's not too badly damaged, very thankfully. Offloading over here at Boela. Yeah, lots of sinking here so far. Off Werrick. 11 casualties there. Off Manakwari. Over here again. Very nice. Excellent, so that looks to be the end of the air phase as far as I can tell there. It's actually been a really solid turn for us there. It's not often that we have nice turns, but that was a really solid turn. We had a lot of things happening all over. Right. That force has moved significantly faster than I previously expected, so it's, okay, well, let's hope that we can actually take this base here then. 196, 89. It does not fall yet. We suffer 33 casualties, we inflict 320. So it probably will fall tomorrow. No issue with supplies. Fortifications are 0, so it will fall tomorrow then. Right, we have the Allied bombardment attack at Singkawang. Yeah, they don't have a huge deal of forces over here then. The good news is the fact that we do have engineers in position already, which is excellent. A few ships so far. Nothing particularly important, but I mean, well, the tankers are very, very nice. I don't know why he continues to bombard at Ambon. It's just going to be burning his supply much, much faster. That's going to cost him the base there significantly sooner. Right, yeah, we'll take the base over here in Mindanao. Yeah, nothing there, but it means that we have that base. Talawa's finally expanded to size 2, which is excellent, so we now have a larger airbase at Talawa, which is going to be useful throughout the war, really, ideally. And there we go. Well, there we go, that's a pretty good turn so far. You know what, that's a lot for us to talk about there. But yeah, pretty solid turn. Quite happy with that. I don't think we really took any particular losses there. I think the only thing that we did lose, well, then again, I don't think we really lost anything. We had one of our transports hit by one of the coastal defense guns, but... C'est la vie. That was actually a really nice turn. It's not often that we have, like, turns like, yep, that's nice. It would have been good to take Nanning, but unfortunately Nanning didn't fall, but it will fall tomorrow. We did see the Chinese force there. Very close by, but I think it will take them longer to march into the area. Yamada detachment has arrived over there. That's something to know about. Okay, solid turn, solid turn. So what I'm going to say here then to those of you who are watching the replay, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the future. Until next time, Tenno Haika Banzai. Okay, guys. I'm going to go ahead and upload the replay here, and then we'll get right into it. So how about while you guys, well, while I'm doing this, how about you guys discuss what you thought of the turn? What do you think went well? And did you notice anything that I didn't? It's just one of those things, sometimes it's very good having multiple eyes. There was something in regards to the actual tankers, something about, there was a message about the actual destroyer that I didn't quite get to see. So I'm kind of wondering about that, like what did it actually say? Because it looked as if like burning DD or something like that. But I didn't quite get to see that. So if any of you guys saw that, that would be very nice. Yeah, it was a good result there. Very nice result. Nothing major, I'm not going to lie. Like, the tankers is probably the best part. It said fuel burning on the DD, but that's very interesting. Yeah, I thought it said something like that. That is very interesting. I do wonder what that can actually do to the destroyer then. Will that actually cause some damage? I can't imagine it could. Well, I imagine it would be like fueled fire damage potentially. But I've never seen that one, so that's very new actually. That's very good. Very good. There we go, just upload that. I'll get it ready, uploading. But no, that was nice. That was a good turn. Fairly eventful. There we go, awesome. So that'll be uploaded in the background, and we'll be ready for you guys to take a look at shortly. I've just accidentally opened Sony Vegas by mistake. I will have to close that first. I wonder how big those tankers were. Yeah, we'll take a look at those tankers. Well, it is a big risk. It's, like, he knows I'm operating torpedo bombers in the area. He must have thought I was just deliberately targeting Palembang. Like, trust me, I'd rather target anywhere other than Palembang at the moment, but it is still worthwhile hitting Palembang. Well, we hit Palembang anyway due to the fact of where our aircraft are, but once we clear out the assets that are in Palembang, it becomes significantly better. Okay. See you later there, Zope. Have a good one, my man. Right. So there's still ships in here. There are still ships in here. That's very good to know about. We've seen ships down here. Those are the PGs. How is Mini KB doing on the number of aircraft? Well, we'll take a look over here. But what do we see here then? 2 ships moving east. We see, yeah, that's that bloody task force. AMs. Wow. That's 9 ships moving east. We see over here a good few cargo ships. I mean, this is it, like, we are running low on fuel. I mean, judging by the fuel, we could have the fuel spread out a little bit, but it's not probably worthwhile. I think we will return to Koepang. I'm going to have to adjust the path here to avoid these sons of bitches. If he chooses to chase us, then that's very good news. I don't think he will choose to chase us, but that's good. What we're going to do here then is continue to head on towards Koepang. The reason being we have the oiler heading over here to Koepang as we speak. So once we do arrive at Koepang, we will be able to rearm at Koepang. We will be able to refuel at Koepang. And I don't think he will expect us to, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we would return to the area. It is a consideration. I could send out a reinforced MKB, but I don't think it's something I'm going to, like, agree to as of yet. I don't know. It depends, really. He may chase us. If he chases us, he's going to give us the best shot at this. But we'll see about that. I think what we'll do is we have to choose a path that is unexpected, really. But we'll see about that. So we'll check over the sorties. Obviously, Ryujo is out of sorties here. Zuho still has 165. We have 47 aboard the Taiyo, and 161 aboard the Hosho. So we do have a fair amount still. It's only one of the actual carriers that is out. Well, 2 of the... Well, they're all out of torpedoes, unfortunately. But it is, in fact... God, I've gone past it here. Yeah, it's only the Ryujo that's out. It would have been nice. I'd like to try and balance these aircraft out, but that's not too bad. I can still have them on naval search, and they can still actually inflict damage upon the enemy. Can we just mop up that one task for us with our cruisers? I wish this game told you how many days your fuel's going to last you. Well, it kind of does. So he still has assets in the port over here. Going for a celebratory cigarette. That's awesome. Might join you in that one. Oops, opened that by mistake. So we'll go ahead and take a look, and let's see here then. So, last turn. Now, it's not shown as the actual tankers. I don't know if they went down, but we definitely did hit them. I mean, one of them taking 2 torpedo hits there. That's not something you come back from too easily. And what we're going to do here, first and foremost, then, is I'm going to see enemy units, task forces. We're going to take a look at the actual task forces that we can see here at the moment. Then we'll go into other details. Right, so there's still a ship over here. I should really adjust that. There must have been one that I missed there. Okay, over here at Buna, we are, of course, still moving. Fatigue and disruption is not too bad. We are building up a good amount of planning. Now, it's still showing me 1 unit here. I'm not entirely sure how correct that actually is. We'll take a look in China here shortly. Oh, excellent news. So we have the 11th Fleet being unloaded over here. That's good news. Is that the vast majority? How many men here? Right, 204 troops there. So the vast majority of the 11th Air Fleet has been unloaded over here, which is excellent news. So that gives us the ability to run torpedo bombers from any of these bases now in the area, which is great. So as you can see here, the G3M2s they can use. Yeah, they can use torpedoes, which is good news. Don't forget the blindfold. Yeah. How you doing that, Paul? Osthaven is next to the tanker, so they might have a chance. Well, this is it, but if they're in port, then they're not going anywhere. So eventually when we do conquer the port of Osthaven, we'll capture them anyway. I am going to have the oiler head down to... I was really very cautious about this, but what I'm going to do is actually have the oiler head down to Luganville. The reason being, it is worthwhile. It is really worthwhile. If I can get fuel in there, I can actually... well, I can sort out my submarines in the area, have them refuel, rearm there at Lucanville, which is excellent. Yeah, the 8th Tank Regiment there making some good progress. Okay. So we're not seeing anything over here as of yet, but we have seen them. You can't capture ships, as far as I'm aware. I don't think you can capture ships. I mean, I think... I'm not entirely sure what the actual... I'm not entirely sure what the course of events are if you actually take a base with ships in it. I'd imagine they're either forced out of the port or they're destroyed, potentially. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure somebody could elaborate on that one. Yeah, I can imagine it's not a situation that often happens, really. I think you could choose to scuttle them, so he might choose to scuttle them instead, really. Well, you can definitely choose to scuttle. Yeah, so he attempted to hit us over here at Wake Island. Yeah. I can't really imagine them staying in port, but... something that we'd have to really find out about. Too much an edge case. Right, so we do have a good awareness of these submarines over here. How are these pilots actually doing, these G4s? How are they doing? So we can see some ASWs increase, which is good news. Is that strafing, perhaps? Or I'm going to assume strafing, perhaps? I can see experiences increase on some of these guys, but not the most experienced pilots anyway. But they are doing a good job. I don't think we really had any hits against the submarines, but it's just one of those things. It's interrupting the submarines, which is always good. Right. Okay. So we've lost sight of this unit over here. I can't imagine it's not still there, so that's more than likely there. 9 out of 10 over Taeyun again. Taeyun. Chikyang, 9 out of 10 as well. Right, just 1 out of 10 at Ichang, 13 units still sighted there. He did previously have 14, that's the 14th unit. Units there. This unit's going to remain in position here to guard the rail. I am moving troops along the rail lines here to actually guard them now. He's not moving out of Changsha. How you doing, Vervoken? Good to have you, my man. Right, he's actually moved. That's a lot of units, so he's moved 3 units out of here. That's 39,000 men. That's still... that's a fair amount of men there, really. Though they don't look as if they're moving anywhere at the moment. So this is wooded. Okay. Now, the naval bombers are fine. They do have that good range. It's like in some ways they're actually better for it due to the fact that, well, they have that range, which is very excellent. Okay. To be honest, it's almost like the Chinese theatre is sort of stuck still at the moment here, really. There's not much that's changed. We do have our heavy cruisers out to bombard, so yes, they will bombard Wankao tomorrow, which is excellent news. Ideally, that will give them a little bit of a shock there. We'll go after Osthaven in the near future, actually. That operation is coming up very shortly. Yes, there we go, the 97th JAAF is moving up there. They're moving over here to Langsong. They're either going to be positioned over here at Langsong. I'd ideally like to have them maybe over here at Nanning. The reason why I'd have them at Nanning is I can actually make use of these, is it the Ki-59s? Yeah, make use of the Ki-59s with their range. The reason being, if we have Nanning, and if we took control of Taeyun, I'd be able to use them. I think they're operational at friendly bases with the extended range. So it would be excellent to have them operational out at that range there. So from Nanning to here would be very good. I could move a unit. I mean, this is kind of throwing a span in the works. Maybe he's recognizing the threat to Nanning, but then again, it's not the most important base. It is interesting. It is interesting. But this is good news for us. He's moving troops out of position over here, which I'm happy with. Right. What's the weather like over China at the moment? Okay, so storms in the areas. Storms overhead. A few areas there. Right, the 38 finally making some headway. Still marching towards Canton. Was very tempted to turn them around. It might... well, but again, 6 units here, 20,000 men. That's pretty good detection. But it's one of those things, it'd be too late to turn around here. I mean, we could potentially do it, but I don't think it's worthwhile. He's got an enemy... right, okay, so he's got a unit over here. I was hoping that would actually pick up on some detection over Changtai. What I'd like to do is actually run detection over these bases here. I really want to see what the backline looking like. Interesting. You can also bomb from... Where's the... Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. Are we talking about Koepang? Yeah, Koepang is quite a big base there. As far as we can see here, there's 2 units. Now, I think there was previously 3 units in there. So, he might in fact be moving out units here. So he does have the fighters there at Rangoon, but he didn't... Yeah, he didn't seem to run that combat amateur, which is really interesting. I wonder why. I wonder why he didn't run that. Okay. How many ops losses did you take last turn? Some of those damaged aircraft may not have made it home. Potentially so. We'll take a look at the aircraft losses. So... Looks like they all made it home. We did lose the B5N1. We lost an A6720. 2 K-46s went down there to the flak. But it looks like our bombers made it back home, which is very good news. It doesn't look like he lost any aircraft. So we didn't actually hit anything on the ground. Though arguably... To be honest, I'd rather him have damaged aircraft on the ground, because then that's something that he can't really walk away from as such. So we're seeing 5 ships over here. We do have pretty good information over the base now of Rangoon, so that's going to help us with our accuracy. Okay. There's a good few aircraft over here to Rangoon. So we'll say about just, I don't know, something in the region of 110, 100 and something. Can't be asked doing the maths at the moment, but a few of those anyway. But the interesting aspect over here then is the fact, yeah, only 1 airfield damage there, not much. The music is actually from the new game, Close Combat, the bloody first actually. The tracks are short, but they're quite nice actually. Right, that's plenty of supply here for the time being. We do have the 124th Regiment in position. We have the 2nd Sasebo SLF here. A few engineer units. Now, I'd have to go back and double check the AV, but it didn't look like that much. Does anybody remember what the AV was? I forgot what it was at the moment. Right, so all troops have been offloaded. What I'm going to do here then is more than likely have these guys pull off the time being. The reason being, we've got enough supply here. I've got the engineers ashore. If I need more supply here, I'll head back. What's the plan for the big island? We capture... Oh, New Caledonia. Yeah, we'll take a look at that one shortly. How are these guys looking then? Oh, fatigue's absolutely nothing. There's only, yeah. The 2nd Sasebo looking pretty good there. Interesting, where the hell's the rest of their unit there? Oh, it's over here at Marie. It's interesting that these guys are even over here. I think I might have expected more of them there. But that's fine. This regiment is in pretty good order. These being the bastards that did spend... Well, at least some of these guys did spend a hell of a long time out here at Mersing. They did manage to fight off the Allies and hold their positions throughout all of that hell on a shoestring budget of supply. So this is excellent news. Yes, we did capture the 10 light industry there, which is very nice. Yeah, I mean, 87 experience, 94 morale. These are a very good unit. Just 8 dudes, yeah, just like in the background, like, you got this! Can we see what most experienced army units... I'm gonna have... I mean, I considered having the actual regiments head out alongside the divisions, but I think I'm gonna have them actually hold put. The reason being I don't want them being savaged too heavily, actually. What is the progress? Yeah, so we're making progress there, but I think I will have the actual regiments hold put. As long as you keep your XP on your pilots up, you'll be fine, yeah, pretty much. Right, okay, well, we'll take another unit then, so... I don't know, we'll take... I don't know, we'll take some of these guys. 70 experience over here. Take this regiment over here. 16th regiment is 85 experience. Obviously, that is a detachment of the division, so it's probably not representative of the full division when it is actually coalesced. Let's find another unit. 22nd Air Flitters, not too far away. Ooh, let's say the 12th Mixed Brigade. They're at 55. Not the best, not the best experience. 116th Division, 66, 57, 55 there, 50 there. So it's pretty good. It seems to be higher than average. Very nice experience there. So it should be a very a very high performing unit there. 87, 94, very good. What sucks as a Japanese early is that to take Rangoon and Singapore, you're going to sacrifice a lot of bomber pads, grind those airfields down. Well, this is it. But we kind of have a perfected idea of how we approach the situation. Oh, okay, so let's see Jambi. So he's got fighters over here as well, then. It's only 9 fighters, which is not a huge amount. He's not flying anything over here. It's just a single... How many men is that? 1,000 men, okay. One auxiliary aircraft over here. Interesting, I've not seen an actual airfield as such, so that must be a float plane. But that's interesting there. B-17s versus carriers isn't exactly going to go well. Well, the thing is, we're not going to end up having the carriers over here. We'll keep this up. I might want to actually take a look at how we actually approach the situation. I'd love to have a third carrier for the free squadron, or even better, these zeros. That would be excellent. Right, wow, that's a lot of sallies. That makes me feel better, actually, about my own losses. Interesting man is heading east there. Are you talking to Zoe? That's cool there, dude. Right, we'll take a look at the forces over here at Changsha. So our AV is now at 5,189, which is good news. Also, we do have these units divided here. We didn't lose 80 to Singapore. We might have done over the long... It was about 50 due to mistake, which forever haunts me to this day because it does still hurt. We have got a combat patrol over Bangkok. A small one, but we don't need a very large one at the moment. Okay, so the good news is these forces are slowly but surely recovering now, which is excellent. Fatigue's going to take some time there to wither away. The good news is, yes, we have a supply required. Not quite as much as it would like, apparently, but still good. As far as I can see here, none of these Chinese forces are moving as of yet, which is excellent news. We're still looking at 30 units over here. The artillery is over here as well, which is good news. I might have this artillery actually join into the battle, to be honest. Probably not a bad idea. Okay, probably should have saved them to head over here to Changsha, but then again I didn't want to reset that progress. So they're going to be heading there. Do we have this artillery head up there? These guys are... right. I'd say so. I think it's probably worthwhile. Set all to follow. Oh, well, set all to march, actually. Right, excellent. So what I'm going to do here, then, is change their planning towards Changsha as well. I suppose it's not a bad idea to have some additional artillery here. That's 24 centimeter guns are in a good 240mm ones. Additional guns are additional guns. Additional guns are always good. 168 guns there in total. Very nice there, really. Oh, right, I see. Okay. Yeah, I can see the table equipment is recovering here. It's looking good so far. Obviously, we'd have a better picture if we coalesce them back into their divisions, but this is working, which is fine. We do have level 1 fortifications here, so you can see most units have level 1 fortification. Actually, no, most units have level 2 fortifications here, which is good news. So it's not likely we'd ever be ejected out of here. For him to attack us would be blood. Would truly be a bloodbath. Okay. We do have an anti-tank gun. I think we have 2 anti-tank guns here. The RF. Yeah, those are anti-tank guns. Okay, so it's just the 1 anti-tank gun. The mountain gun battalion is not bad. Mountain gun regiment, not bad either. Additional guns are always handy, aren't they? Always, always handy. Just increases our firepower yet further. The 6th Division. 6th. Almost there. I might have the 4th Brigade, but then again, they're going to arrive there next turn to this hex. So I'll just let them head there, and then they can head into Changsha. The good news is we will then... Whoops, no, definitely not. There we go. I don't even know what button I pressed there. Yeah, so the good news is once we actually get the 8th Armoured Car through there, we will own that. We actually do own this hex side as we approached here from the south, and we approached from this side over here as well, which is good news. He obviously owns this now. But that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, if he wants to come and fight me at Nanning, it's going to be using more of his supply. He probably could kick me out of Nanning if we don't take it. I'm going to have to take it. He doesn't like his movement right now. Only issue is the lack of supply here. Which kind of sucks. I mean, this is why supply is a big, big issue. So, it might be worthwhile just to hold off for the time being. I'm going to put them in defensive mode for the time being. Allow them to build that supply up for the next turn. I don't know if he could actually arrive at Nanning in the next turn. I do not think he could potentially. I don't think it's possible for him to arrive at Nanning next turn. So I think what we do is we just like build up our supplies and then take the base the day after, really. But at least we've got something to defend from. What do you guys reckon? Okay. Where did that unit just south of... well, it's still there. It's still there. It's just we've lost sight of it. I think what I might do here then... I mean, if we take a look over here... Right, they're now active, which is good. I don't know why they were in rest. But the 2nd Raiden Regiment is now fully unloaded, which is excellent news. Yeah, that's excellent. So they're now ready to drop at a moment's notice. We are reducing... Yeah, that's good. 80 experience, 95 morale, so very good troops here. They are very good fighters. Okay. They're ready, which is good. Now, the excellent thing is I could move additional L3Y2s into the actual city over here as well. We do have the Ki-57s here ready. Looks like 3 of them are still repairing over here. Let's take a look. Planes. So they'll be ready tomorrow as well. The supply situation in China overall is pretty good for the most part. We don't really have anywhere that we're lacking supplies. Only over here at Nanning where we're lacking supplies. And that's like... there's not much in the way of supplies over here in Indochina. But if I wanted supplies, I could get supplies. Like, there's supplies down here at Saigon, they just need to be drawn up over here. It's due to the fact that nothing's been in those bases, so stockpile has not been... Well, stockpiled there. Sorry, supply has not been stockpiled there. But it's not a big issue there. I can get it there. It does come through. Potentially what I could do is actually take the Ki-57, sorry, Ki-59s and transfer them over here to Langsong, but there's no supply for them to move over as of yet. Like, you can see this unit over here in Haiphong, they do have supply due to the fact that there's a unit there, so it's going to give them enough supply just to keep them going. Okay. Still chasing the Chinese unit over there. Might arrive on it next turn. He doesn't look like he's particularly interested in moving here at the moment. Right, we're right over here at Koepang. And we do have troops moving up from Koepang, so we do have the 23rd Army there. Behind that is the 2nd RF Gun Battalion and the 21st Mortar Battalion, not Motor. So, what I'm going to do here then is have these... Well, then again, it's a very small unit, isn't it? Do I need to get us in Koepang? I do, so I guess I will keep it there then. In Koepang, it is just resource production. Okay. Right, they've finished loading, which is excellent news. I'll think about when I want to have them shipped out to, actually. Right, these are supplies moving, sorry, resources moving up from Indochina. Yep, they're going to be bombarded there the following turn. Additional artillery moving out there. Heavy artillery at that, which is always very nice. Very good, very good. Okay. So, the China Expeditionary Army is moving to Wuchang. Should be there fairly quickly. The situation in general looks quite good. I do have additional troops I can move out of here, like these infantry regiments, well, namely these infantry brigades. I'm kind of moving them out piecemeal at the moment because I don't want to move too much too quickly. You don't have to drop whole units to take an empty base. Yeah, I know. That's the plan, but 80. The idea is what we're going to do here is actually have... what are the actual aircraft called again? Let's see. Yes, the Ki-57s, due to their range. Actually, I'm going to bring it up there. So the Ki-57s, we did find out They can only use their normal radius as far as I'm aware on enemy bases. So that's 11 hexes of range, which puts us in range of Jikyang, just barely. We do have the L3Y2 Tinas over here. Their normal radius is 16, which puts us within range of Taeyeon. So what we're going to be doing here then is the KI... are they 57s? 57s, yeah. The KI 57s are going to be dropping over here at Jikyang. Then we're going to have the L3Y2s dropping over here at Taeyeon. Now, the idea is what I wanted to do is capture Nanning, and then I'd like to move aircraft over there, if possible, just to drop some troops from over that way to Taeyeon, just to try and reinforce Taeyeon as quickly as possible. There are other troops in the area as well that I could use. But yeah, just really anything and everything will be sent out there as soon as possible. We've been really, he must suspect something at this point. We've been running reconnaissance over these bases for a good few days. But then again, we've been running reconnaissance over the entire area, really, so who knows, really. I'm hoping that he doesn't know, but we'll see. We've reached a point at which we could actually drop if we wanted to. Well, it wouldn't exactly cut his supplies, but it would dramatically reduce the amount he could potentially receive, as he would only receive them down this single road over here, and this is a large road, but it would limit the amount of supplies. It would cause him... I can imagine it would cause him to panic. I mean, I can't imagine that being a good situation. The most likely response from THG would be to take some cores, potentially from over here, or whatever else he has in the area. I don't know what else he has really... just hanging around out here. And he'd probably have them head back. To be honest, I'd imagine he'd probably send a good few forces from Ichang. Or he'd look towards launching a counterattack, but a counterattack would be absolutely amazing. Funny thing, you could bring more reconnaissance to newly captured bases. Yeah, well, this is it really, isn't it? It becomes something of a, what do you call it? Whack-a-mole. Okay, we didn't suffer any attacks over here, which is excellent. The oiler made it through over here, which is good. Now, we are moving out here, so let's see. Transport. Not you. You're still loading, however. Where have they gone? Okay, wow. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, I think I've got used to cargo ships, but yep, they've arrived at Koepang, but there we go. Well, that's excellent news, because that basically, to be honest, what we might do here then... I didn't expect it so quick, I don't know why. That's excellent, excellent news. Okay, so we take a look at Koepang over here. Now, notice we don't have any aviation support as of yet, so they've only just arrived and they will be unloading. Now, these guys are in combat mode, which is fantastic. But yet we do have the 5th Air Division headquarters over here, which gives us additional aviation support. It gives us a torpedo ordnance as well. So we do have, at Koepang, we do have a level 4 airfield over here that is in perfect condition, 3,658 tons of supply. So we might, I don't know, I might consider actually moving a G4 squadron down here to Koepang. It probably is worthwhile actually to do that. Since we actually do see targets over here moving east, which is extremely interesting actually that they're moving east. I don't know what they could be, but to actually have G4 protection out this way would dramatically change the situation. And effectively it would shut down the southern Dutch East Indies for business completely there, really. Which is actually very nice. So I think that's something that we should really consider. Not going to make any decisions as of yet. Okay, so these bases will fall to our control next turn. These bases over here as well. You can't see. I love when you guys ask me where random ships are. It's like, I don't know, dude. I don't remember the name of every ship. Oh, there we go, Yukazi. She's in Task Force 337. Yeah, she's over here. So this is the task force that arrived back, which I'm actually kind of glad they reminded me about. I'll have that disband for the time being. Nishima arrived back here too. Very good, very good. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead here and do is, let's see, is there anything else we missed? Not seeing any green dots as yet. I'm not seeing anything out here either. There's a fair plethora of targets over there. No, they're moving east, which is interesting. We'll go through the operations report as well. There might be additional targets in the area. But this is excellent. There's a lot of ships in the area. And the good news is we've hit and disrupted the actual convoy down by Australia. And also we're hitting it over at Osthaven as well, which is pretty good news. Of course, we do have submarines in the middle too. I mean, these are more like... Well, I mean, they are trying. It's just obviously they lack float planes to guide them. But it is what it is. He really is in low strength over there at Palembang. I know it's a river hex, but I could potentially take a look at landing there with ships able to actually make it up the river. But I can imagine he probably would have some good coastal defense guns. But it might be one of those cases when it could be potentially worthwhile to take it, or at least attempt it. I don't know. I'd have to check out the rules regarding that. Okay. Righto. Additional units over here I'd like to pick up, like the additional part of the third air. Right, actually speaking, let's see. So we do have the Yokosuka. They've finally arrived. I could keep them in strategic mode actually, that's probably a good idea because we can fly them over here to Saigon and then they can get straight onto the rails. So what I'm going to do here then is... We actually didn't have a bombing of Singapore here then. Just noticed that. I think that might have been due down to the weather. Yeah, weather over Singapore is thunderstorms. Thunderstorms over here at Djambi. Yeah, thunderstorms in the area. Poor weather in the area. Yeah, you're really moving out deep there, aren't you? I don't know, is it worth sending it to Tarakan at this point? I don't know. They're in a bad situation. That was probably one of the worst mistakes I made. I don't know why I just left them. But then again, I suppose it's one of those pitfalls, isn't it? Like, investments. Well. Okay. How's Kwantan doing, actually? I should have been repairing this much earlier. Oh, there we go. 2 port damage, 14 airfield service damage. The port, yeah, the airfield's back in service now. That's excellent news. Very good. So the good news is I can actually move bombers down here to Kwantan if I would so wish to do so. It would be nice to have additional aviation assets, but if we take a look then, so what do we actually have in terms of aviation support? 47. But that's excellent news. It means I can move some aircraft down here to Kwantan and actually really help out the situation in general. You're complaining about supplying garrison. Supplies should be down here soon enough. Yeah, 3rd Air Division in place. Okay. Troop transport. Right, Yokosuka, 3rd SLF. There we are. They're going to head out to Saigon. Set all transports. Yokosuka, 3rd SLF. Yokosuka, 3rd SLF. That's good news. I mean, the good news is, if we can get these guys over here to Saigon, it would be nice to have Nanning available so I can make use of these Ki-59s. But we don't particularly need them. I do have the other aircraft that do have longer legs, which is excellent. So we would have the ability to actually stretch out there and fly reinforcements in, which is really what we need. As many reinforcements as possible, actually. There is a small worry here, just in the fact of, well, if we decide to push down into Indochina. But then again, no, actually, that'd be a good thing. I believe there is a rule where if he push Chinese forces into Indochina, I think I do get some reinforcements in the theater, or at least reinforcements are unlocked. So I don't think it's too much of a worry there. Okay. Right, show all units. There was a question. Right, okay, so let's go ahead and take a look over here to do Caledonia. So if we take a look at these forces here, you can see the fatigue will be dropping fairly quick. I mean, it is in the malaria zone, I do believe. Yeah, it's in the malaria zone, so it's not going to drop completely unless it was a very large base. But that's fine. Right, our forces moving down here. Submarines moving down into the area. Nothing detected over here as of yet. Yep, our additional submarines are in the area. One of them has... Yeah, they do have a little bit of detection edge, which is interesting. Okay. Kashai over there. Right, you're loading supplies at the moment. I'm going to tell you to stop loading supplies, actually. Now... Let's see, what's the distance here? See, I've been really considering this one, actually. We were originally going to be heading to Canton, and then we changed our minds to Baker. And then I don't know, I'm somewhat torn between Canton again. We would have a little bit of an overlap between Funafuti and Canton. Now, Baker is closer to Johnston Island. Now, neither of these islands do have the range to actually have eyes specifically on Palmyra. The facility over here at Canton is better, however. We also do have troops. I think we will go for Canton, I suppose. There's some supply already here as well. The airfield's in perfect order. It's only really the port there, so I think we will go to Canton. It looks like it's closest, so we have 16 hexes there. 17 hexes there. Surprisingly further away. I mean, this is how the distortion of the map kind of makes things look. You think it's closer, but actually it's kind of not. So yeah, we'll head out that way. I think what I'll do then is cancel loading supplies, leave a fair amount of supplies over here for the Futi. If I need more, I can take them from elsewhere. Right. So we still have enough aviation support here for the H6K4s. A few of them are... yeah, these guys could take longer. But we can see that the 50-50 is starting to take effect now. It's not the best from a search point of view, but it is good to actually keep the aircraft running. At the end of the day, if I actually have operational aircraft, at least I can actually see something rather than nothing. But so far, so good. We've not really picked up anything around this area for a while, so I don't know whether that's due to the fact that he's not moving shipping, or... well, I suppose that's it, really at the moment. So, what the actual plan's going to be in this area. Now, we do have the DMS over here. I think what I'm going to do then, if we take a look. So I do have the 61st Naval Guard over here. So then Luganville, Tarawa, and Numair. The other units, the 52nd, is at Luganville, Canton, and Koepang. Okay. What I'm going to do then is actually have the DMS pick up these troops, or at least some troops over here from Luganville. What I'm going to do then is actually use them to take control of these islands in this area. We do really want to look towards potentially attacking an island down in this area. Not entirely sure which one as of yet we'll be going for. There is a part of me that is interested in potentially testing the waters out here at Palmyra. Though the only reason I would consider an operation at Palmyra would be, well, at the Line Islands. Would be on the presumption that the American carriers are south. So I'm not going to go for anything at Palmyra until we really have an idea of where the enemy carriers are. And at the moment, we don't know where they are, so we'll see about that. They'll show up at some point soon, I imagine. They will show up at some point. The good news is, well, we don't have to show our carriers. What I'm going to do, and this is something I forgot to do last turn, is I'm going to put some of these carriers into shipyard mode for repairs. So ships under repair. Just a few of them. So what I'm going to do here then, Major. I'm somewhat tempted to, I don't know, it's 1s and 2s which ain't bad at all actually. So how many do we have for major damage? So that's 2, 3, yeah, so about 4 of them have major damage. Take 12 days, 11 days, 14 days. 8 days. Fair old amount of time. Yeah, due to the fact there's a lot of other ships here being repaired. But, I mean, any repairs done is worthwhile. They have had damage repaired here while they have been. We did obviously have, I think we had, was it Hiro or Shikako? I forget which carrier it was, but one of them was at about 10 damage or systems damage. So it is coming down, which is very good. Quite excellent. Okay. I think what I'm going to do then is we'll take... let's see. We'll take a Kargi. Put her into repair ship. Right. Yeah, she's in repair ship here, so she would take some time to get ready again. 11 days there. Which is not a long time, really. Right. And we'll have Soru put into repair shipyard. Well, to the repair ship. So just free of them for the time being. So you can see that damage is able to be repaired now. Right, so obviously they would take some time to get back and ready for action. But it's not too bad. We still have 3 fleet carriers, and they are at Truk. They are at our most important base in the South Pacific, really. Well, just in that general area, really. I don't exactly expect him to come raiding at Truk. I think it's probably the last thing that is ever going to happen. The reason being, he's got a lot to go past, and, well... it's not going to be a long and illustrious career for any USN captain. I can assure you of that one. Right, they're headed to Buna. You know what, I cannot remember when I sent them out, but that's not too bad, so that's another 3,000 supply headed to Buna at the moment. I do imagine these supplies probably migrate into these other bases at the moment too. But yeah, we'll have to keep a lot of supply moving into Buna. I can't read it while I'm on stream at the moment there, dude, but I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, we do have a good amount of supply over here at Leh. So the good news is I can take that supply and have it moved over to Buna, if required, which is good news. Okay. Right. So with that, we can make a good stride in that area. Now, what I'm going to do then is get these guys ready to take the other base. I mean, I can't take that one, unfortunately. So we might have these forces return over here to Rabaul, so I can actually have them sent out elsewhere, really. Save repairs for another stream. I suppose so. I can imagine I'm going to get nagged down if I don't. How do you make a rush? The Elder. Hey, I'm new here. I have a question. Is the enemy AI able to cope with the depth of this game? Well, the AI does pretty good. It is good. I'm not totally saying that because Andy Mack, the lead AI designer, is here. The AI is competent. It will give you a good game when you're learning, but the best way to play is a play-by-email game, which is what I'm playing here at the moment. So I am playing against a human opponent. So this has been a series that has been ongoing for quite some time now, but the best way to experience the game is definitely against a human opponent. But the AI is competent too. It will give you a game, it will give you the game, it'll give you enough to learn the ropes, really. It gives you enough to learn the ropes. Alright, so what I'm going to do then is put these guys back into readiness then. Oh, you're more than welcome. Welcome to stream, my dude. Don't ever feel like a question is wrong or silly. All questions are worthwhile asking. Okay. So we'll touch upon the repair then after apparently I read this link. Which in fairness, if it helps us, that'd be good. Just do not do... Yeah. Well, as far as I'm aware, obviously, when they do go into the shipyard, is it going to focus on the major, or does it actually just focus on the... There needs to be some sort of definition for that. Will it actually work upon the major damage first, or will it just work on the system damage first? The light damage first? I think on the offhand it probably will work on the light damage first, so that is a good move, and I suppose leave them like that until we repair all the system damage and then repair the major damage. Which, fine, yeah, we can work with that. If that's indeed how it is. Right, the APD's moving out over here, can it be Naval Guard? Which is good, I do need Naval Guard over here so I can get moving. Like all things in the game. Alright, Fourth is over here still resting at the moment. They're preparing for Denpasar. Not entirely sure what we'd actually encounter over there. We'll see. I do feel like it's a worthwhile move actually moving G4s over here. It would be nice to have some fighters out that way as well, but we'll see. Right, we do have 1,700 tons of supply over here now. Ah, there we go. Fantastic. I now have the ability to run drop tanks. The good news is I can divide this unit as well and have them spread out. I do not think I can divide the K-43-1Bs actually while they're over here. No, there's another part of our unit there. But then K-27s over here at Johor Bahru, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. One day we'll reunite that squadron. These are not detected, which is a good sign. They are detected, which is interesting. Okay, so we'll take the base over here to Boella. So, deliberate attack. Which would be nice, seize that oil. Deliberate attack over here as well. What I'm going to tell them to do is not unload. Do not unload. Remain on station, good news. Do not unload. Okay, the APDs are making their way back to the Babaldwar, which is good. No detection over them at the moment, which is excellent. Okay. Right, that element of the base force does need to head over here to Davao. Okay, we do have our oilers, sorry, our tankers over here. Okay. The good news is, over here, we do have the K-27s. So what I could potentially do then is actually move the K-27s over here to Kendari to act as the combat air patrol. But to be honest, what I'd probably do is actually have the K-27s spread out across the other bases in the area. And just purely use them in that combat air patrol role there, really. That would be quite good. That would be quite good. Like having spread out to Makassar, Kendari, but just in a general area. It is still interesting to see that his bombarders over here at Ambon. Now, we are at 338 tons of supply, so it's costing a supply. It is using supply on his hand as well. On his end as well. We should have another bombardment ready to go soon enough. Yeah, they're rearmed. Rearmed. Rearmed and rearmed. Superb. So what we're going to do then is prepare for a second bombardment of Ambon to come in the next few days. Looks like they've just finished off here. Now, if I take a look in Koepang, the Casino, she's lowish. Yeah, she's used a fair amount of her supply there. Yeah. Yeah, she's used it all there. Okay, so we'll have the tender loaded. Now, what I'll do then is actually, I suppose this is usually operations points. I think what we might do then is I can leave her. Do we have additional supply? We do have a Yakasuni Maru over here with additional supply. I don't think we're lacking supply, but I feel like it might run out fairly quick. There's 744 supply aboard here, so at least that's some additional supply, which is good news. No supply there, of course. We should be alright. It's going to take some days for these guys to return back over here. We've rearmed the BBs. What I'd like to do is get a supply convoy down here shortly. Yeah, looks like you've run out of operations points. I'll decide later if we need to make it into our own task force to manually load that supply aboard. I think what we'd have to do is just wait until the next turn to actually have the operations points there. Okay. That's good news. So what I'm going to do here then... let's see... Okay, then what I'm going to do here is set up a bombardment task force. We'll have it in service combat just as it travels over there. But honestly, the time before it does go in, we'll have it in bombardment. So what I'm going to do here then... Now, I could potentially have... The APDs are going to head back to Kendari, actually. Would be nice to have them potentially pick up some additional supply. Or we could potentially take some troops from here and take other bases in the area, which ain't exactly a bad idea, actually. So I might use them in that capacity. But what I'm going to do here then is grab these destroyers. We do have additional destroyers over here as is, which is good. Which destroyers are these then? So these are Kagero. Bit of major damage there. Alternate 2 PPs at a time, saves rearm time. Potentially. Yeah, potentially so, which would help to keep up the actual disruption fatigue. But then again, I suppose it comes down to the issue of we would have BBs more consistently in the Bandasea. Do we run the risk of being torpedoed? We run the risk of being torpedoed as we move through the Bandasea anyway. I think I'm just going to go all as one for the time being. I'd rather minimize the time I spend out there. Yeah, well obviously we didn't have Namel over time. But Koepang works better for us. Like, we can... Yeah, I mean, this is it. Obviously, if we're using them just exclusively. I mean, it's going to be fantastic if we do have more AKs. Definitely looking forward to that. Can I see if I have any actually... Well, these are active ships, aren't they? So obviously they're not in here. I cannot remember when I was building additional ones. The BBs are going to go ahead and bombard Ambon. I'll have to double check on that. Yeah, the BBs are going to head over here to Ambon. Oh, is it ships under repair then? That makes sense. Okay. Well, they're going to head out here to Ambon to begin with. Obviously, as we near closer, I'm going to switch them over to bombardment. Probably next turn, switch them over to bombardment. What I'd like to do then is, let's see. Yeah, we do have additional light cruisers over here, additional heavy cruisers over here. A good few of them. Yeah, that's 5 heavy cruisers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 6 or 7. Ah, thank you very much for that, Leaf Eater. That's very much appreciated, my friend. Thank you very much for the Twitch subscription. Helps keep me going. Thank you very much. I used to have the notifications come up over the top here. I need to put that back on. But yes, the good news is we do have the ability. I don't know really. Is it worthwhile heading back out here? It does make me wonder. It could be potentially worthwhile. The only worry that I have is It does make me wonder about what he could potentially have in response. No, we don't need the BBs. The BBs are great and all, but the thing is, like, the BBs do use a lot of fuel. I'd rather use the BBs guns to actually bombard Ambon over here, because they're doing this in relative safety. I mean, obviously there are still the submarine threat, Yeah, the MKB's pulling back anyway. Like, I'm not considering staying here. They're heading straight back to Koepang. But I'm just considering if we were to foray out here in the future. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure, I'm not entirely sold. I think in reality we'd have to get down here to Perth, but I think a raid at Perth is... I don't know, it's an interesting prospect. I think once we were rearmed and potentially reinforced, if we had an oiler with us as well, then things would be potentially different. There's a lot of considerations there. Yeah, but I'd say I can just use heavy cruisers. I don't think it's likely for him to have a mid-ocean intercept here at the moment. True, he has full information of where we are right now, but we do have more room to maneuver here. The good news is that task force is 5 hexes away, this task force is 4 hexes away. I feel like we have a lot in the way of options over here. True, this is actually cut off, so I don't know, it's going to be an interesting one to take a look at there. I'd consider actually having some heavy cruisers sally out to meet them. I can definitely get it behind heavy cruisers. And in fact, I'm going to have a task force set up for that, just on the off chance that we do go for that. So what I'm going to do here then is, we'll set up a new task force, but I'm going to look towards the guys that do have the fuel. Right, we should sort by endurance. So, Atago and Ashigara. These guys are well, that's a Miyoko, that is a Takao class. Well, yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, I can imagine the heavy cruisers would definitely rip them apart as well. I don't see... I mean, this is it. Obviously, a light cruiser has more chance against a heavy cruiser, but there's still quite a considerable difference between a light cruiser and a heavy cruiser. I mean, what we'll do is we'll actually take a look. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll actually take a look at the actual classes as well, which will be quite good. Well, yeah, true. Oh, God, that hurts still. That still hurts. I really did expect better there. Right, you're low in munitions at the moment, but you could be rearmed next turn. Right, you're fully armed. You're fully armed. Do I have a third fully armed heavy cruiser? Is it worth a third one? You're somewhat low in ammunition there. You are being rearmed. It could potentially be worthwhile to send out some light cruisers then, perhaps. Though they are loaded up here. Yeah, twist the knife a bit more indeed. Oh dear. Right, let's see. I do have a few a few heavy cruisers here, so let's see if any of them are rearmed. You get in there. Okay, Nachi, another Miyoko. Right, 3 heavy cruisers there is very nice. I mean, obviously you are lower on endurance there. I don't think it's worth a heavy cruiser. Sorry, I don't think it's worth a battleship. I think this plays well. What I'm going to do even is take the remaining destroyers when they're in there in 76. Make sure they're not loaded up. Right, you do have elements there. You do not. I think this Fubuki needs to be graded, but we'll have her sent out in the near future then. Okay. That's 9 float planes there as well, which is very good. You're currently under repair. 5 days, wow. Take on a reserve there. What I'm planning here then is actually having the G4s transferred down here to Koepang. If we take a look at the range, that's 19 hexes. I think we'd need potentially 1 turn to be within range of our G4 cover, potentially maybe a 2nd turn there. I just don't feel like it's justifiable to send a BB. I get what's being said here. I just don't think it's really worthwhile. No, it's one of these. It's just, I feel like if we're going to be intercepted, I don't think the BBs would be able to arrive in time anyway. This is a large force. I mean, that's a fair few cruisers there. And to be honest, that's around about the number of cruisers he had over here, so that is an interesting response there. I do not know how much fuel they have. Thank you very much for that, Infinite. Much appreciated. Yeah, we don't know how much fuel they have here, so it is an interesting one there. I mean, that force has been a pain in the arse there, moving southwest. They do... But they're not much in the way of a threat. They would get in the way. Ah, thank you very much for that, Killer Pies. That's really, really appreciated, my dude. And I do actually have a message here from Newhauser. He has prepared a news article for us to read, actually. So just going to go ahead and get that ready. Okay. Open that up. Of course he fucking sends me this one. Okay. We'll go ahead and take a look at this. Ah, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Right, here we go. So, this is what Newhauser has created for the series in general, which is quite nice here. So, the Miracle at Mersing, the Monterey Herald Tribune. Brits claim major victory over Japs north of Singapore. Japanese battleship Haruna invasion force sunk. Sighted there below Singapore. 100 squadron wildebeest prepare for a sortie. And what can only be described, I love how it makes me read basically Allied propaganda, the asshole. Ah, this hurts to read. This really hurts to read. Why would he do this to me? Japanese offensive continues. We'll go with that one there. A Japanese invasion of the Philippines Commonwealth continue as Imperial forces push off their beachheads off Mindanao. Local forces have been pushed aside in numbers of actions, but reinforcements are being sent to the region. In addition, a second Japanese land has been confirmed to the southeast of the country, near the city of Tobacco. Actually, interesting name. Little details as this time, but units from Manila are being dispatched to contain the attack. Yeah, he would say that. He would send me that one. Yeah, you're going to need to create a news article in response. Hashtag fake news. And we do have another one here. Okay. Oh, I like this one. The bloodbath at Changsha. The Monterey Herald here for the February 5th, 1942. Massive Japanese attack defeated. They're dead litter the streets. They're really... Yeah, okay. So I suppose this is... yeah, he's really producing this... we need some Japanese propaganda here, don't we? So I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this in my heart. But we know this one is really not what they wish it to be. A massive attack launched by the Imperial Japanese Army in the ancient city of Changsha has resulted in a bloody defeat for the invading forces. The city had been the site of a bloody stalemate for the better part of a year as General Chiang Kai-shek troops held onto the city as a bridgehead. Obviously this has not been proof checked as of yet. He did say apologies if there's any errors. As a bridgehead of the east bank of the Xingjiang River. They heavily fortified the city with defensive works, especially along the smaller Liuyang River that cuts through several boroughs. Thank you very much for enhancing. Oh my god, wow. I didn't even have to get the... I didn't really have to reveal my chest as well. My god, is this what it is to be Twitch famous? Okay. It has allowed the Chinese troops to weather the constant artillery and air bombardment with few losses. Yeah, okay. Imperial Army engineers launched a stunning pre-dawn operation that destroyed several key blockhouses on the banks of the Liuyang River. These large concrete defensive works overlooked by key bridges were saved by well-laid demolition charges. It was the only thing that went right for the Imperial forces that day, besides the fact that we didn't take massively more casualties. Within minutes, Japanese soldiers surged across the bridges and other points on the river. Some estimates suggest 10 divisions may have been committed. I wonder if he knows exactly how many I have. They immediately confronted by another line of fortifications in almost every location. Imperial Army forces could not proceed more than a few hundred feet, despite new battalions being committed to the fight almost hourly. The breaking point occurred in the mid-afternoon when the Chinese forces launched a massive counterattack. The Japanese troops pinned down their bridgeheads were overwhelmed and massacred. The scene of the streets is one of carnage. Thousands of Japanese dead lit to the streets by the bridges. The nationalist forces' casualties were not light either, but they nevertheless carried the day. You see defenders breathe a sigh of relief. Had rogue defenders the new mayor fall. This is something I can get behind. 3 weeks after they were laid siege, and against terrible odds, the defenders of New Caledonian city of Nouméa has fallen. The brave French, New Zealand, and Australian soldiers have been sent off. So they had been seen off weeks of bombardment and attacks from overwhelming forces, leaving them badly depleted. Still they hung on, including a full-scale attack by forces likely 5 times its size. Cut off, deep behind enemy lines, the defenders knew there was no chance of being rescued by sea. Still they fought on tenaciously to the last man. That's nice, okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that, my dude. Much appreciated. I like this. It does hurt. We do definitely need to have some Japanese propaganda, I feel like it. It's gonna send him a message saying, stung? Okay. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, it was a fair representation of Numea. It wasn't like, oh, yes, the Japanese were constantly defeated. It's like, well, it was the Balbos that was going to end in our favor. I think we flew, I think we shot our load a little bit too quickly by going for the shock attack. I think that definitely did send us back there. But then again, with the amount of supplies they had there, could have gone on for a long time regardless. But still, that was nice. Excellent, excellent there. I don't think, did we bomb Bataan as well? I don't think we did, actually. Are these guys ready as of yet? Right, still, we'll have another one tomorrow. 2 more days for the rest in total. But once they are ready, that's going to be fantastic. We'll actually have dive bombers here able to attack these forces out here. Good way to get them into the fight as well, with some training there. Okay, the 4th AAF Koi. Let's move into Singora. Good, okay. Right, so we're going to have the Yokosuka FedEx left moved over here to Saigon. From Saigon, they're going to move over the way. Did you check ship losses already? And we did have a quick look at the ship losses, but the fact is, it's not showing us all we would have liked to have seen. I mean, it was good to take these guys out of the Djembe class. It's only 1 victory point, but at the end of the day, I mean, they're still coastal minesweepers, you know what I mean? They're still handy. He's going to be in position in the future where he might not have as many. Now, what I'm going to do here is take a look at the operations report. On Boy Island. Okay, 1 day over here. Ah, right, okay. Looks like we do have some ADs. So those are destroyed tenders that have just been brought into service. So those are conversions there, which is quite nice. Yeah, well, this is it, isn't it? Oh, no, so he will have hugely expanded. He will have more ships that basically come off a assembly line, but hey, we're not at that point yet. Loading supplies in Nagasaki, Sasebo for delivery to Shanghai. Begins loading resources at Fusan for delivery to Shimonoseki. The Yamato is not yet built. She's not yet finished. She will be in the near future. A G-Class DD reported here, which is quite good. I don't think we actually did hit that, but it's always good to see that. The Pollux there, interestingly, she was reported hit 3 times, but we didn't see any smoke, so I can't imagine that. Right, okay. B5M1 Kate from Ryujo is damaged on landing. Now that's interesting. Allied torpedo bomber, which could be the Hudson. Could be the PPYs as well, actually. Yeah, Colombo is reported hit there. So B5M1 Kate, sorry, B5M1 Kate, spotted the destroyer venom 47-130. Colombo 44-130. Yeah, well that's true, isn't it? Okay. Oh, so she crashed on landing, that's unfortunate. Grounded due to maintenance. Grounded due to maintenance. Need to check that out. Need to check them all out, to be honest. So they go. Oh, interesting, okay. So Pago expands ports to size 3, Tarawa expands to airfield size 3. Okay, so he really is pumping a lot of investment into Pago. So he's definitely active over there. I can imagine he does have a significant amount of yeah, definitely has a significant amount of assets over there. Okay. Just want to say I don't watch these streams so often, but enjoy. Oh, that's really good, man. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Okay, see you later, Van Infinite. Have a good one, my man. Right, Surigawa. Well, I'm gonna have to check out what Surigawa is once again. Not really seen anything I can really make much use of, but the good news is we did spot a good few. We're looking at clear skies overcast here at the moment. I'm not going to make a decision as of yet as to where I want these guys to be heading. It could be potentially the best case scenario just to head straight, but I think what I'm going to do here then is actually have a G401 squadron shifted down there. I believe we're still able to use the torpedoes over here, considering the fact we do have... Yeah, the 23rd Air Flotilla is still in position here. I do have to solve these units out here then, so we can see these guys, they're in strategic mode at the moment, we're going to put them into rest. These guys are in strategic mode, put them in rest. No reason for them to be in strategic mode here. And the good news is I can actually move out the 4th Sea Detachment here without issue. We do have the Kyoto 1st Section left. We have the 83rd and 82nd Naval Guard units over here as well. So a fair few units over here. 4,767. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually a fair amount of AV. 275. We only had a little bit more, and that's what we took New Mayor with. So that is a fair old amount of AV. Those guys at Kendari, they're going to be the ones to land at Balapapan. I think what I'm going to probably do then, I mean, we know there's submarines in these waters over here, but we know there's aircraft over here. I could... Now, interesting enough, there's only 19 fighters here. I do have 24k for the 3-1Cs available for action over here as well. I could pump some reserves into there if I wanted to do so. We'll have another, what is that, 1, 2, another 5 there? I think that's 5. Sometimes it's hard to read the font. As we'll have another 5 of them ready tomorrow. What are they looking at in terms of fatigues? Very low. How are the actual pilots? The pilots are pretty damn good, actually. Yeah, pretty good, actually. So what we may consider doing over here at Surabaya is potentially launching sweeps at Surabaya, which would be quite nice. I mean, if we were able to actually destroy his combat patrol over there at Surabaya, that'd be quite good. Okay. But the good news is, with those drop tanks available, it does give me the range of action increase, then I can use the G4s. But what I'm going to do here then is, we'll take the Takao KUK-1, 91 morale actually, which is fatigue 7. I'll take them because they have slightly low fatigue. Gonna have them transferred over here to Koepang. So there they go to Koepang. Yeah, they don't have torpedoes ready as of yet, but they will have them ready tomorrow. Or at least once the actual forces are unloaded over here, which is excellent. Kidaputi's pilot situation, traffic plan. I hope you'll return to Koepang. Yeah, we're going to be headed to Koepang. We've been long out of torpedoes. We went down to Australia with no torpedoes. But indeed, they're heading back to Koepang. I think the path I'm going to take is... I may head this way, really. Just, I suppose it might be... It's one of those, do we head in a straight path? We need distance. It's one of those of where if he does burn full fuel, he will be able to catch us. It's unfortunate that he does have full sighting over us, but obviously that's due to the fact of the aircraft. Now, we did hit 2 of the light cruisers over here, which is interesting. Moderate rain in the area. There's an AM here. I don't imagine the AM could keep up with us, so I think the only real threat in the area is the light cruisers. Though he may move the... Yeah, he may in fact move the AMs into the way, but I think I can deal with the AMs. I'm hoping I can actually just avoid the AMs, to be honest. Okay. But what I'm going to do here then is we're going to take this force, so let's see, 7... There we go. So what I'm going to do then is send down a relief force of heavy cruisers, so 3 heavy cruisers. And we have 4 destroyers in here as well. Now, I might take a look at the actual commanders as well to work this out. But yes, they're going to be heading out there to relieve the might of the MKB. The excellent news is next time we will have the ability to run torpedo bombers here. I have them in position here, so I could have them run with the bombs. I could just run them like this, and then when they have the torpedoes, they will run them automatically. But we can still run with a reduced load of 250 kilogram bombs there, 2 of those bad boys. We have an extended range of 21 hexes over here. So what is the actual range of the MKB? That is 26 hexes. It is indeed 19 hexes to the small force over here. We are looking at about 8 hexes over here. Darwin is only 12 hexes. So we have range over the entirety of North Australia, basically. Even range over to Port Hedland. So this is it. Effectively consider the Timor Sea shut down. What if you go to the right, say waypoint some hexes closer to the Broome and turn north, might make chase harder. The only thing is, if he's got the reaction on, it's one of these of, we might be able to evade him, but if he has that reaction on and he does actually become aware of us, his forces could just chase us down. So it's one of those, really. What I'm hoping to do then is, I might consider running the G4s at maximum range with the extended range. So if we were to take a look then, I'm going to just set a path here to begin with. Yeah, I mean, the shortest path is, it's one of those where we need the distance. But obviously, I've got to be kind of smart about this. We could head down there, but then that puts us closer. We're going to have to really take a look at the path that takes us furthest away from the enemy as quickly as possible. We'll see about that. I'd have to hope that we could actually pull out to combat. I don't know if he can afford to go at full speed. It's one of those of, does he have that much fuel to burn there, really? It is an interesting one. They kind of do look like the cruisers have come from Java. They weren't previously down here in the area, so it does make me wonder where they actually come from, really. So the thing is, if they've come from elsewhere, well, obviously they've used fuel to get down here. I mean, we're low in fuel. So it's a hard one there, because you could just split this task force up, so it is a bit of a difficult choice here. What's KB's movement speed again? Well, it looks like we have 6 hexes here in total. Obviously, I'll just double check this, because I always bloody misread it. Well, actually, let's see here. So if I was to head straight down this way, let's take a look. So, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so 7 hexes. Yeah, 7. No, actually 6, so we'd only be able to make 6 hexes. There's enough fuel in them, like, I could share this fuel out. There's enough fuel to get them going. We do, I mean, like, Tayo has enough fuel there to share out amongst the rest of the fleet, and we do have the heavy cruisers on the way to meet up with them. So we do have enough enough fuel. I think what we'd have to do is, it's like, this would be an unwise movement. Yeah, it would be, leaving CAs and some DDs as a trailing force, it would be something I could potentially consider if I had more ships, but we don't, unfortunately. We, unfortunately, do not have enough. That, and I think this is it. I think we need to avoid that. Need to avoid surface combat. These don't have an airfield. He could potentially have, like, float planes. There's an airfield over here, actually. So that's something to watch out for. So I think we definitely need to stay clear of Broome. So I think this is a definite choice of, the choice of the moment. I mean, this is it. It might be worthwhile to head towards our submarines, potentially, but we'll see about this. So what I'll do then is, I'll set the actual location to Koepang, but what I'll do then... Well, no. Yeah, we'll just set it to this for the time being. Not quite right. I mean, this is it. I don't know how we're going to avoid that force. I don't think we'll have much in the way of opportunity to do that. The good news is, obviously, the green represents the night phase. And then, obviously, this is where we'd be in the day phase. So, we probably might have a chance to actually hit this force with our aircraft, which is good. If we could hit that with the aircraft, at least we'd be able to, like, somewhat diminish the amount of ships there. But I don't think we'd have much in the way of issues. There's a substation there, supposedly, these are all AMCs. And if we take a look at what we were dealing with... Ship sunk. Yeah, 50 cals. 50 cals. 50 cals. Yeah. Durability 1. Yeah, we'd probably be able to deal with them, no issue. I don't think they're much of a threat. I don't want to get stuck in combat with them. See, there's these AKLs down here. I wish we could hit them. And to be honest, we might. What's the range here? I think our range is about 7. I could potentially push it further, but it's not worth it. Yeah, it's about 7. Ship over there. Yeah, they're moving east. It is interesting to see there. So supposedly there's a heavy cruiser in here, which is interesting. But the good news is we were able to evade them from being very close. So it does make you wonder, do they have float planes? We did see a report of a Allied fighter bomber by here, which is interesting. We'll try and figure out what class of light cruiser that was, actually. Cape Town. And Colombo, Caledon. So we didn't see all the light cruisers there. So that's interesting. I was going to Google it. So Royal Navy. I think it's Royal Navy anyway. Cape Town. If I can figure out what class it is, then we can start to like look at some statistics there, really. Well, stats, sorry. C-class light cruiser of the Royal Navy. C-class. We'll take a look at that, man. If somebody could actually do some research on these names, that'd be fantastic, actually, because that would definitely help. So we'll take a look over here, then. Ships database, then. So, Allied ships. Sort them. Light cruisers. I'd love to know what the heavy cruiser is, if it is indeed a heavy cruiser. Right, C-class. So capacity is 0, so they don't have a float plane. They are armed with the 6-inch guns, the 12-pounder guns there. Their range is about 20,000 yards. That's not very long range. Belt, 75 armor, 25 armor on the deck, 75 on the tower. Maneuverability is 49, so fairly maneuverable. Speed's 29, cruise speed's 15. But not the fastest. I live almost exactly between Cape Town and Caledon. I love it. That's cool. Right, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual class. So, C-class light cruiser. Right. C-class are a group of 28 light cruisers in the Royal Navy and were built in a sequence of 7 groups known as the Caroline class. The Calliope class. Okay, so that's the name of the different... Right. Caledon, yep. That might be like a subclass, actually. Oh, right, I see. Second World War service. Did live to Colombo. It says 1914 to 2011, Jesus. Right, so Colombo light cruiser. Oh, she's also a C-class. Okay, so from what we can see here then, the C-class is, it's a danger, but it doesn't look, it doesn't appear to be armed well, equipped with a, yes, with a actual float plane, which is good news. We could take a look at the actual replay again, actually take a look at the ships there, see if they are all C-classes. The only issue is we saw 3 of them. What is Big Kitabatai doing? Big Kitabatai. They're over here a truck, just undergoing repairs, to be honest. All of them are imported at the moment. So yeah, they're all undergoing repairs at the moment in time. Honestly, you should have waited another 3 years to repair that last one. Well, I mean, this is it. This is it. I mean, it would potentially explain the report of a fighter bomber. But either way, we definitely have better situational awareness than he does. At least, like, I think I can categorically state that, like, we do have better situational awareness. To a degree. Like, we have 131 aircraft aboard, we have 21 flight planes. So 150 aircraft in total. 152, sorry. And the good news is the situation here has changed rapidly. I mean, with the actual establishment of the G401 squadron over here, the, Takao KUK-1, it does give us a lot of opportunities here. I think I might increase that range down to 21 potentially. The only issue is it does put us within range of Surabaya. It's just one of those, maybe if I specified that, but I think what we could do is go for... I think, you know what, we'll just fly the normal range, actually. Just fly that normal range. 17, that's fine. It puts us outside the range of Surabaya. Puts us in range over here, though. I think we have to consider whether or not we are going to sweep Surabaya. Might be worthwhile. What's interesting, though, is the fact that he didn't have any cap over here, which is interesting. It is an interesting one there. Right, we have the K-59s over here. Just going to keep them in position for the time being. How are these G3s doing over here? Oh yeah, the pilot's actually really gained in experience here. Yeah, you can see naval search has increased, which is good news. Still a bloody lot of them. I might have to just bring like a heavy cruiser or something into the area just to blow them up. Okay. The interesting thing is the airfield is at 15% damage here. We should be able to repair that fairly quick sharp. We do have the engineers already on station at Singkawang, so as soon as we take the base, I could actually move some aircraft in here if I wanted to do so, which is not a bad idea. Would be nice to have some additional assets over here. Do you have influence over production of this game? Welcome, by the way, there, OCB. We do, to an extent, like, for example, over here in industry management, if I go to air, we can choose what we do produce to an extent. And we can also choose to an extent what we are actually researching. Like, for example, obviously we do have the R&D over here. Like, we will receive every aircraft on its historical arrival date. But what you can do with R&D, if you do spend the actual supply, is basically you can try to bring forward certain airframes early, which is quite good. The ones that we're going to be receiving near future within this year would be the KF-4428 Tojo. The A6730 will be unlocked, but we're not going to produce the A6730. We're instead going to be going towards the A6750 straight away, as quick as possible, really. It's starting to pick up the pace. The sooner the better there, really. The sooner the better. We are making some progress over here with the A7Ms. Sorry, A7M2s. B6M1 Jill's going there. B6M1 Jill, be fantastic to have that. Really looking forward to having the C6M1s as well, D4Y1s as well. Especially the D4Y1C Judies. I think that is a reconnaissance variant, which is brilliant. Yeah, it's a nice aircraft. KF-45s, I think, are pretty decent. KF-67 Peggies, these guys can carry the torpedoes. It's an army bomb, but it can carry torpedoes. KI-84s, they're actually doing bad. Not doing too bad here. A1K1 Georges, very nice. P1Y1s. I mean, there are changes I'd love to make to this list over here, but unfortunately we do have to live with it to a degree. We don't have the supply to burn as such. Now, the strategy over here in China is one that it is very aggressive. We really are being aggressive over here in China. But then again, that is due to the fact that he's allowed us to be aggressive. The fact that he's remaining in place at Changsha is just amazing. It is incredible. I think it's been, what, 2 days now since we attacked? And the thing is, of course, he's recovering AV, but I'm recovering AV. And the thing is, he's not going to be able to remain here in position forever. There is going to come a point at which even THG is going to have to be like, look, I'm going to have to quit this. But not quantity. We can't build ships, unfortunately. I can accelerate the arrival of ships, but I can't construct new ships, unfortunately. Like, we do have new ships that are pre-programmed into the game, but I can't, like, choose as such. I can choose to not build them, but I can't choose to, like, build more of one, for example. Like, for example, these are the ships over here, so obviously sorted by class. So, Yamato is supposedly arriving there on the 30th of May. That seems to be her historical arrival date there. Can't wait to have a Yamato. Biggest battleship there is, and probably biggest waste of time there is, but still, it's awesome. I'm going to use it alongside the Kidabatai. Now, supposedly Yunyo is going to arrive here in 26 days. The other thing is it is accelerated, which cuts the time in half, so she might arrive sooner than those 26 days. We'll see there. Ah, don't worry, my dude. No question is a bad question. Yamato's sister ship. Yeah, she'll arrive later. Musashi arrives on the 1st of December 1942, so some while yet. Yeah, she really is. She's the world's most expensive sub. Sorry, sponge. God, why am I saying sub? That's because I'm thinking about fucking Wenkao again. Yeah. So, we keep seeing Coastwatcher reports from over here at Wenkao. It does feel like he's definitely up to something over here. The interesting thing is, he's got about 61 in the way of resource generation. So 61 is 61 times 20 for the actual resource generation. Now, when you actually do lay siege to an actual settlement, it stops the resource production, but it doesn't stop heavy industry or nor light industry, nor anything else being able to produce. So if he's got the resources, he can continue to produce supply. Eventually that supply would, sort of those resources would run out. Well, that's it, yeah. What is it, 18-inch guns? Yeah, those are some pretty big guns. A hell of a lot of armor as well. It'll be beautiful to have her out in the fleet. Shinano's been... I've effectively cancelled the Shinano. If we ever do have the spare capacity, I might consider reviving her, but I really don't think so. Yeah, it does take a lot of naval support, but we can definitely handle that. If anything, I don't really expect her to be using her main guns, so the AA we can actually look after. She's more than likely going to be spending a long time out at truck. But she will operate alongside the Kidabatai. Not in every circumstance, but in the actual circumstances that demand something of that nature. You know, you can see that we have been using this supplying fuel over here, so it would be nice to get some additional fuel and supply down. Okay. Right, you're moving to Tarawa with additional supply. Okay, so Tara's been built up to level 2. I don't know if I want to build it up beyond level 2 here at the moment. Yeah. Don't worry about it, my dude. Like, the first turns always take the longest because there's just so much in motion. But once you get into the game, and once you actually really get into the campaign as such, you kind of know what's going on because you're the one who's actually controlling it, really. But yeah, I mean, don't feel bad about asking questions. It's always good to ask questions. Right, they're going to attack there. So we'll be taking 1, 2, 3... Sorry, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 bases next turn, then, which is good news. So within the last few days, New Guinea's really been flipped over to our control. Obviously, this side of New Guinea is not under our control at the moment. How is that airborne regiment doing? Right, so they're still moving out there. That's the Yokosuka. Yeah, there's the first raiding regiment. Yeah, I know, right. It does make me wonder how I'm going to use that first raiding regiment. I don't know, they might have been handy over here. I'd have loved to have had them in China, but obviously it just takes them too long to arrive in China. We wouldn't really need them on that first day. It would have been excellent to have one down here, but ideally I can get that one down here before we actually do drop. I think what we continue to do then is wait for our AV to increase. The good news is once we do have a 6th division over there, it does up it by another 458, which is good. Well, yeah, but it's one of these things like the Shinano, she takes so long to arrive, and you are using heavy industry points to produce her. It's one of those, is it, like, worth it? Um, we might construct her again, we might actually allow the construction in the future. It's just like, we have a certain number of naval shipyard points, so I think it's worthwhile to have them used for other assets. Like, we are accelerating the construction of two other carriers. So, for example, Yunyo and Hyo, they have been accelerated, which does use more points, but they should in theory arrive sooner. So, rather than construction nano, I've accelerated the arrival of these two carriers over here, ideally. Yes, we do have reconnaissance over here, Tion. The interesting thing is there's only 2 units over here as well. I think there was 3 units as of last turn, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on over here at the moment. I can't say that it's not here. I feel like that unit probably is still there. I think what I'm going to do is actually set reconnaissance to really take a closer look at this area. I mean, once we have the spare points, we might consider it. Okay. So the 8th Armoured Car Company, it's going to probably take them 2 turns to arrive over here at Changsha. But once they do arrive there at Changsha, then that road is then opened, which is good news. Having 2 roads into Changsha is good. As soon as we have that opened, what I'm going to do is take maybe a division or 3 divisions or something of that nature and have some armour move down this way to join the 104th Division, which is actually now in position, which is good news. Put them in combat mode. They can continue to plan for Hengyang. I don't know if they're spotted. I'm going to presume that they are spotted. They are very close to the enemy, so it's more than likely they are spotted. But all of this is putting pressure on THG here in China, because at the end of the day, he's got to be aware that I will contest his movement out of the area. I will look to challenge him and look to destroy the Chinese armies in force. It's going to be a very wild time over here in China in the near future. I think what we'll do then is look towards maybe, I don't know, maybe run reconnaissance over the spot. It's just one of these of like, he could have something here. As far as I can tell, we're not seeing a difference in the unit numbers. Kuei Lin might need some additional reconnaissance. I might have switched it out there, but I think I'd like to keep it over there. Hengyang, we have good reconnaissance. So there's this unit over here. Now the thing is with that unit, it's going to have to march back to Hengyang to get back on. Is it okay to take your troops out of Manchukuo? Yes. Yes, it is. You can take them from Manchukuo, well, Manchuria basically, and have them sent to China. But if you were to take them and send them to, let's say, Burma, or basically anywhere out of Korea, Manchuria, or China, then you do have to pay the political point cost. I mean, I don't know. It could be argued that you have to pay the political point cost to get them out of Manchuria, but that would be a little bit unfair. We'll see. But yeah, to have them sent to, like, I don't know, I suppose it's, yeah, to send them to Indochina, or basically anywhere else other than China, we do have to pay a political point cost in regards to the house rules that we have in place. I was looking forward to seeing this covered in Japanese flags one day. Okay. Righto. Do we have anything on the signal intelligence? Nardi. Darwin, Medan, Vladivostok, Batavia. Now, can we try and figure out what those tankers were then? I think that's going to be the question. So, ship database, allied ships. There's not that many. Alright. Allied. Helps if we look at Allied. Yeah, pretty much. Right. I'm not entirely sure what... I mean, we saw Europa. I mean, that was black, so that was a little bit easier to identify. But as we didn't have a report of them sinking, then I'm not entirely sure what class they are. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell me. Was it a shell? Maybe. It was black, wasn't it? But I don't know, was it exactly like that? I suppose we could take a look at the names actually and probably work it out with the names. Yeah, so what we'll do then is combat report. Yeah, it was a larger one. It was a larger one. Okay. Pan-Euro. Okay, that was the name of the ship. Okay. So one of these, like, it's hard to know if it's the right ship. The article I'm looking at the moment says motor tanker. But yeah, not seeing that there. Ah, right, okay. Supposedly a T1? According to this sign I'm looking at the moment. It's a T2. T2's here. And these are like 43, 42. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. I suppose these are the only ones it could be. These are 42. I mean, it could be the 42. Yeah. It could be a shell type A. That looked roughly about right, I think. But either way, it did look fairly juicy. Okay. That fatigue's up there. Unfortunately, there's no damage here at the moment. Yeah, it's a fairly crowded airbase, but we do have more crowded airbases. Cat. And this one's got more aircraft at it at the moment. Okay. Right, let's move down the river there. They might arrive at Wuchang. I'm going to say probably next turn they'll arrive. So that's good news. We'll have about 38,000 tons of supply to unload at Wuchang here next turn, which is good. I love the fact that we do have the access to the river here. Okay. What I'm going to do here then is save it. The reason being I want to take a look at what those divisions look like when they're combined again. In terms of AV, I'd like to see if there's any major difference. But I don't want to have them actually that way. I want to keep them resting like that. Okay. The recon arcs. We don't have recon arcs in China. We just have them set up with objectives. God damn it. Quite a few divisions here, really. I think that's them all. Okay. So it's still showing me 5,189 then. Yeah. Well, we've got it now anyway. Well, I mean, it's like 15,000 tons of supply in the actual hex. Obviously, we need 30,000 tons. But the thing is, we are building up slowly but surely. Obviously, we'll have additional supplies landing over here at Wuchang. We're not going to be attacking next turn anyhow. So we can just continue to build up the amount of supplies. I mean, the thing is, if our... if our supply usage looks bad, can you imagine what his supply usage is looking like? The second attack probably won't break him either, but the third attack probably will. I think that's going to be the time at which he really is going to... It's probably going to be after the second attack that he really considers, like, pulling the hell out of here. If not sooner, really. Actually, something to check. Yeah, we still have a surplus in China. For example, it's concentrated over here. Like, for example, there's 128,000 tons of supply at Shanghai. There's only 3,200 there at Hong Kong, 5,617. But it's one of these things, like, obviously the supply is concentrated in these areas, because obviously this is where we're shipping there. Turn over turn, you gain 248 AB. Well, that's it, isn't it? We're going to wait as long as we can to drop. As long as feasibly we're able to drop, really. I'm not wanting to go too early. I think it's one of those things we want to be in a position where we can actually launch an attack at Changsha. I mean, I'd like to drop and then potentially launch the attack at Changsha the turn after. The reason being then he might look towards pulling some troops out. That, and obviously we might be able to make the actual supply inefficiencies like rough. Well, I suppose the loss of supply coming in there being a little bit harsher. I think it's still there. I can't see where else it would have gone, to be honest. We're still not seeing a unit in here. I do find it interesting. I'm sure there's 3 units in here. I think what we'll do then is run reconnaissance over this area, but as far as we can say, these bases are empty, as such. I mean, there is a map mode of supplies, like, in a way, but it doesn't seem to work with my map mod, and it takes forever. We found that one out. Yeah, we definitely found that one out. We're not doing that again. But I think this is where we're going to leave it off for tonight. I can't promise it will be a stream tomorrow. At absolute latest, it's probably Friday or Saturday. Maybe Sunday. Depends on what time I get available with college. But I'd like to say a big thank you here to all of you for watching. Thank you so very much. It's been fantastic so far. And you know what? It's been a very good turn. It's not often that we have a solidly good turn, but this has been a solidly good turn. Nothing amazing, but it was nice to stick in the tankers. We do have some nice things in operation. MKB got out of here without being attacked. We're going to obviously take a look over her pattern. Well, we're going to look over how she's going to get out of here. This is only a preliminary idea for the time being. Obviously, I'm not going to go where this is final, but we'll figure this one out as we go on. So, I'd like to say a big thank you here, gentlemen, for watching. Until next time, Tenno Haika Banzai. If you guys do enjoy my content, please do consider becoming a supporter of my channel. You can do this by becoming a patron, which is the best way, as there's really not as many middlemen, but other ways are good, such as PayPal. I'm becoming a Twitch Prime member. Always awesome. Until next time, thank you for watching, and goodbye for now. See you in the next stream.